Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And it doesn't get much better than this late 1970s Patek Philippe, still embracing the heights of mechanical watchmaking in the heart of the quartz crisis. This is the Ellipse 3739-2, again, a late 1970s reference that features a full integrated factory gold bracelet, and on the dial, though it's not super easy to see because of the hobnail, we have a Beyer co-signature, Beyer of Zurich, and so we have a retailer co-signature on a dial that is also a Sigma dial, that is also a hobnail pyramide dial featuring solid gold hands and indices. And this is the angle that probably gives you the best view of the actual text right there. You can confirm the Beyer co-signature, and this watch is full of surprises. The case is super thin, and by super thin I mean 5.6 millimeters thick despite being automatic winding. And a little bit difficult to describe how this watch wears, but it's a 36 millimeter watch from side to side, not including the crown, and then from lug to lug, such as they are, it's only 40.7 millimeters. So it wears quite nicely, though. As a non-round watch, it has far more wrist presence than a 36 millimeter sub 41 lug to lug type of measurement would imply. 36 across and sub 41 lug to lug, you might think it's small or dainty or a lady's watch. It's anything but. You could see that it's fairly broad down the wrist, that is running towards the hand, and that it is the epitome of elegance. So low, it's basically as low as your wrist hair, and it is a gorgeous thing. This is the only bracelet that you could put on this watch. It's the only strap. It is fully integrated into the case, and it is beautifully made. Many small individual links in wonderful condition, created in traditional goldsmithing fashion. You could see how this is integrated by welding into the case flank, just like that. Moving further down, you could see how the system works. You could see 33 as a metric corresponding to the 33 on a multi-position 70s style clasp. We'll demonstrate how this works. It's always a little bit easier with more fingernails than I've got, but I'm going to try to do this for you because I love you guys, and this is a labor of love. You can see the calatrava across externally. You could see the different detents. There it is, 33 right there, again, corresponding to the buckle. You have this little release that allows you to put this end into the clasp, just like that, and then lower the lock into place to keep it secured, and then lower all of that until it snaps shut. That's how you size that. Now, we'll take a quick look here. Patek Philippe signed. Unless I'm badly mistaken, this might be an Atelier Réuni bracelet because Patek Philippe used Atelier Réuni for cases and bracelets in the 70s, buying it in 1975, and that building, Atelier Réuni in Geneva, is now the Patek Philippe Museum, but that acquisition also marked the beginning of Patek Philippe case making. And if you were to open this case up and look at the gild stamp on the inside, the gild stamp is 28, which corresponds to Atelier Réuni. Now you can see the vintage style hallmarks on the back of the watch. This has not been refinished, polished, diminished. We're leaving it exactly as we found it, and we think that is the way a true vintage collector would want to own it. A lovely Gadroon style bezel. You can see that this is a monoblock case with everything loading through the back. The bezel and the mid case are all one piece. We have this lovely pyramid style dial that matches the shape of the crystal, the bezel, and the case. The golden ellipse, and not necessarily called golden ellipse because of its material, but because of the golden section ratio of length to width. Now, normally it is a vertical oval. This one is horizontal, so it's a little bit different. Inside, we have a very early example of the caliber 240 micro rotor, an ultra-thin automatic that is still current, albeit being phased out slowly, but it allows this watch to be only 5.6 millimeters thick despite being automatic. The movement is beautiful. It's Geneva sealed, 5-position adjusted, pivots on 27 jewels. It has a free-sprung Gyromax style balance and a feature you won't see on modern 240s, an overcoil hairspring for better positional timing stability. 3 hertz beat rate or 21,600 vibrations per hour, again 48-hour power reserve, and it is a micro rotor automatic, so the rotor is in the same plane as the drivetrain and the other bridge carriages, allowing this watch to be automatic but as thin as a manual winder. And again, the Beyer co-signature. Beyer's still around today, a very cool distinction that traces this watch back to its early days and its original retail. An incredible opportunity for a vintage collector who wants something different, something rare, and frankly, something that your friends chasing 3700 Nautilus may not be able to find. These are uncommon. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.